Look,
Listen?
Taylor.
look, listen, and Taylor. It's Look, Listen with Geese Guyera and Taylor coming at you again. This time, episode 102. Horizons episode 54. What's Geese doing on this bright, early sunshine morning on just golly? How's today, everybody?
I got my blood done.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
I got blood work done.
That's so sick.
Guys, and it cost me 40 bones.
Don't do it.
What?
40 bones for blood?
I know.
What a racket.
Why'd you have to get your blood done?
Because I just got my annual physical.
I wish I had a whole annual physical.
I wonder how many years it's been since I've had a physical.
Guys, let me take this opportunity when Geese is speaking to give my own personal anecdote. No, it's only one sentence. I felt when I went to the doctor, I felt like she maybe should have done more. Because I told her, and I walk a ton and everything, but my diet is atrocious. And she said, just eat a fruit every once in a while. And I went, okay.
Huh.
Okay.
I think a lot of doctors, especially in big cities, see so much work.
I guess.
I went to the doctor yesterday, and my appointment was at 9, and I waited, and I was checking in, and I thought I heard my name, but someone else went, so I was like, oh, it must have not been me. So I waited like 30 minutes, and I went up, hey, just check, I'm checked in, right? She was like, yeah, the doctor's probably just running late, and I was like, okay. Waiting another 30 minutes, it's 10 o'clock now. Some guy is like, are you Maureen? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, did you get seen yet? And I was like, no. And he's like, I will be right back. The doctor comes out and she's like, I don't know what happened. Someone else came. And when they came into my office and I kept asking them questions about you, they were like, not you. And so there's this whole mix up. Some lady, when they called my name.
Classic. That's how you got to do it. You don't have time to wait. Just go in. It's a different patient. Good to go.
So they had to clear out the chart because they filled it out for the other person.
Oh, no.
It was a whole ordeal.
It's like a baby getting swapped at the old baby swapping zone because they give you all the wrong...
The fair. The carnival.
The carnival?
Yeah. You know, babies are always getting swapped out at the state fair.
State fairs, they used to have baby contests to see who was like the healthiest or the most cute. So that's what I thought you were referring to.
I thought when you said baby contest, it was who could steal the most babies.
Me. Just giant sacks of babies.
oh, with those little leashes.
In Japan, no matter what you look like, they just yell at you and tell you to lose weight on your yearly physical that you have to go to.
Yeah.
Because the employers are thinking, look, we're paying for this health insurance. You better be just absolute Olympian level healthy.
The squeaky wheel makes the car go wrong.
Geese Peep, would you like to discuss your beloved Edmonton Oilers this week?
Guys.
For audio listeners, Geese Peep is now crying, bawling, screaming on the floor.
They whiffed it.
No. What about McDavid, Geese Peep?
The whole team did not play well, and they lost the Stanley Cup. And it's so like the Oilers to make a 3-0 comeback, only to just lose it all in the last second.
So ridiculous.
And then one of those stinking Panthers was eating nachos or something out of the Stanley Cup. What a disgrace.
I know.
That is pretty bad. What do they normally do with the cup when they win?
They hold it above their heads and go, yeah.
I thought they normally drank milk out of it or something.
Sure, milk too.
Is that not a thing, Geese?
Yeah, bag milk.
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
From what I saw on YouTube posts, everybody was very pleased with the game quality. Everyone was like, oh man, I'm an Oilers fan, but this was a really great game.
I mean, it was very close, so.
It was very close, but I could tell from the first period that the Oilers were going to lose because they do this thing where they just play bad. And once you see that in the first period, you know, like, oh, the Oilers, they're not going to win this one.
Oh, so you can tell they're going to lose because they're playing bad.
Yeah, they just do this little thing.
Especially in the first period, though. I don't know how to describe
it.
I don't know how to describe it. It's a vibe.
Oh. Poor Oilers.
You should write them an email and see if you could be an assistant coach.
I did email them, actually. I emailed them and I was like, hello, I'm a big fan, new fan here. You need a new mascot, and I recommend your mascot to be the Edmontonsaurus, whatever that dinosaur is. I told them they should have a mascot that's a dinosaur because it makes sense, because there's lots of dinosaurs in that part of Canada, in Alberta.
And they're the Oilers.
And they're the Oilers. And their mascot right now is this really creepy looking bobcat. And I got a response, and they were like, we will forward this to the appropriate people.
Yeah, Edmonton does not need a wildcat as a gosh darn mascot.
You're going to have to kind of provide a little bit of elucidation here, Geese. How'd they wind up with a cat in...
I have no idea.
The Oilers?
The Canadians love their cats. But here's what I thought Geese was going to say. I thought she was going to say, I wrote him an email, and I was going to say, you need to get that manager out of there right now. Replace him. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Did you send this email right after they lost the Stanley Cup? Because that would be very good timing.
When they refresh.
I sent this email back in the fall.
Oh, I was hoping it was just thousands of emails of like, oh, I can't believe you lost it, blah, just all this hate, and you saying, I think you should really change your mascot.
Geese Peep, is there more you need to discuss before we move on to watching, playing, eating of the week?
No.
Guys, I watched the film Kinds of Kindness by your boy Yorgos Lanthimos. The more I think about the movie as time has passed since I have seen it, I think the more I like it.
Do you think it'll still be in theaters by the time next week?
It's not even in theaters yet, so yes. My initial thought was, Kinds of Kindness is not as good as Poor Things, and I still stand behind that. Poor Things is a movie I could easily recommend, and just everything about it, from just the color of Poor Things in the world, because Poor Things was based off of a book that wasn't written by Yorgos Lanthimos. I think Kinds of Kindness he wrote all. It's not from an existing property. It's like it's an anthology movie. So it tells 3 separate stories, and it's a lot of the same actors playing different roles. But it is very weird. And maybe some people aren't going to be able to get into it, but there's a lot of funny moments. It's a very interesting movie. Kinds of Kindness is a very interesting movie.
My colleague absolutely hated Poor Things. And she was like, I walked out. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like...
I can understand that.
Yeah, I guess so. But I love that movie.
It's a very deliberate, very loud movie. Like, it's super artsy. A lot of adult situations. I loved it. I adored it. I was laughing so hard. I can't remember the last time I laughed in a theater as much as I did when Willem Dafoe was on the ground yelling about what his father did to him. I was losing it.
I wish Mark Ruffalo got the Oscar.
He was so good. His goofy little accent.
No Mark Ruffalo in Kinds of Kindness, but Emma Stone,
Aww.
Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe. There's plenty of people here. You'll be able to enjoy it. Don't worry. Do I recommend Kinds of Kindness?
What's genre?
Oh. Real weird Twilight Zone, I guess. The ending's kind of fun.
But does it have like something that links all 3 of them?
I don't want to spoil that.
Oh, sick.
Very sick. Also, this week, guys, I unlocked every single deck in Balatro, and that game continues to be so much fun. I'm always playing it on PlayStation Portal, watching something on YouTube, and it's so good. As I'm unlocking all the decks, I keep going higher and higher in the stakes, meaning it's supposed to be getting more and more difficult to win. I mean, in reality, I'm also unlocking more jokers, so it's also getting easier to win.
Joke's on them.
Joke's on everybody. But It's so sick. It's so addictive, so addicting, whatever the correct word is. You never want to stop playing. Well, you do want to stop playing when you really goof the big one and you go, oh, that's it for the night. And you get a run where you really, because if a run peters out early on, you go, whatever, and you start over. When you realize you made a mistake deep into a run, oh, you are ready to turn that off and wait for the next day.
What are the words that are running through your head when you goof and you know you goofed?
Just, oh my God, so dumb. Why did I do that?
So whenever I'm playing a game, if it's like a competitive game, I guess this happens in water polo, but I don't say it out loud.
And your water polo.
Games, yeah. Edmonton Oilers Water Polo Club. So I'll audibly say, like if I'm playing Elden Ring, for instance, I'll say, I deserved that. And I'll just get really upset with myself. And I just sound like Mother Superior.
Oh,
you know what I say?
What do you say,
Gamers
Geese?
never lose when they have fun.
She actually says that a lot. But so my early strat in Balatro was basically to just power up pairs as much as possible. And so I would just be running pairs, not the fruit, but 2 8s.
I'm glad you clarified.
But lately, the last couple wins I've got is by using a combination of jokers to make it where spades and clubs count as the same suit, and hearts and diamonds count as the same suit.
Oh.
And then once you start adding flush multipliers, you can even add a flush or a straight happens with only 4 cards. Then you're just off to the races, getting so many flushes every single hand. And when you start multiplying everything on top of each other. So good. And that concludes my watching and playing of the week. Eating, I did my final Buffalo Wild Wings, endless buffalo wings, boneless buffalo wings, and I'm done.
How many wings?
I don't want to talk about it. At least 40.
Okay.
I was down for the count once again. Such a fool I was.
Is the promotion over?
You've got like a week or two, maybe.
Oh, gosh. I still haven't done it.
Monday and Wednesday only. All right, Geese Beep, let's move on to your watch and playing of the week. Would you like to talk about 3 owl chicks, perhaps? Yeah, hatching.
Yes. So the owl cam I watch, we've got 3 chicks that have hatched. We're still waiting on the last 3, though one of the eggs is probably empty based on the timing of everything.
I have a quick question.
Quick question from Taylor. When we talk about owl cam, we are discussing a live stream, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And a question from Michael as well. When an egg is empty, is that stillborn, or is it just a goof egg, like an Easter egg?
It's just infertile. It just didn't get fertilized.
Yeah, like an egg you eat.
Oh, go on.
It's just really nice to see the babies. They grow so fast. And yeah. I forget. Did I talk about Antiques Roadshow or not?
No. Did you win?
Didn't.
Did they put you on the big screen?
Oh my gosh. I tried so hard to get my mom on TV, and she was really close. She had like a Baltimore specific item. And they were gonna put her on TV, but the thing that she had was not made in Baltimore, so they were like, no. Here's the thing. If she had properly sold it and sold the story, she would have been on TV.
Oh.
But you know what? It's fine. In the end, so at Antiques Roadshow, at the end of the show, they have credits where they have people who went and they say like, we're Sally and Jane and we brought this item. Thanks, Antiques Roadshow. And so my mom and I did that. So maybe we'll still be on TV.
Sally and Jane.
You know.
But it was so hot. It was outside. It was at the Maryland Zoo.
No.
It was like
zoo.
It was 90 degrees, humid.
Oh, I bet it smelled so bad.
It was near the historic exhibits, so there's no animals in them anymore. So it didn't smell like any bad. And I was actually upset because I wanted to see the animals, but they were roped off.
Oh.
But you remember the dog I told you about that I was going to bring?
No.
The dog
I also
Wait. Oh, the jade diamond? I mean, the jade creature?
I brought it up to the appraiser for pottery.
Yeah. Yes.
And he looked at it and he was like, I was like, how many? I'm just curious. I know these are like mass produced. I just want to know how many of these were made because I couldn't find any information online. And he was like, as many as they can. And he was so standoffish. He gave me 5 seconds of his time and he was like, at most, this is $10. And I was like, I got it for $7, so whatever.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know more about how many they made and like the actual person that made it, but he was just like, it's not even worth my time.
Jeez.
It's a busy man. He's got a lot of jade to look after. Taylor?
Yes?
Please ask Geese if she has concluded her watch and playing of the week, and if she says yes, that means you get to talk about the bear and the shadow of erdtree.
Oh, sick. Hey, Geese, I had a question from the audience. Are you done with your watch and playing, looking, eating, laughing, goofing for the week?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. That means something good for me. I forgot, though. So this week, I watched The Bear. I'm all caught up. It's one of the few times in my life I'm fully caught up and current with the show. Season 3 just started. So seasons 1 and 2 are fantastic. Very, very, very good. They have so many characters in those shows, or in this show, that just seem like real people. And that's what I really like when I'm watching something, is for something to be just very believable and like, oh, I know that person.
And of course, we are discussing the show about the man who was a chef, and then he moves to a smaller, less fancy restaurant, correct?
Exactly. That was one of my favorite parts about Florida Project, is that everybody was so incredibly believable.
Yeah, because they weren't actors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Except for William Dafoe.
Yeah. He did a good job. Anyway, season 3 opens up, and not to spoil too much, I'll try to be light on spoilers. I adored the episode. If you can watch it on Hulu without commercials, I recommend watching it on Hulu without commercials.
Who's giving you a Hulu account with no commercials?
Our friends, we all share accounts, and the problem is the people who own the account are ridiculously wealthy. They were just saying, I can't remember the last time I didn't fly first class. And I was thinking, what a life. And somehow, ads in the Hulu account.
Somehow ads in the Hulu.
Anyway, season 3, episode 1 has a lot of flashbacks. I normally don't like that in shows. I don't like flashbacks, don't really care for dream sequences. This one is so good.
Season 3 is a good season to do flashbacks, you ask me.
Personally. I agree. Season 3, I feel like, is such a big season for shows, too, because that seems like where you're either going to turn it up to 10 or start the slow decline until people say this shouldn't happen more.
This season is being promoted all over Los Angeles, but in my opinion, they're a little big for their britches because all of the subway stops just have an image of a bear. They don't say anything. It's just an image of a bear. And it's a blue background. I didn't know it was about the bear. Actually, when I saw the image, I thought it was for that one show, not Yellow Jackets, but what's the one show about there's some people in the woods or something?
Yellowstone?
No. It was like a mystery show. And
was it Yellow Jackets?
Maybe it was Yellow Jackets. Taylor, continue.
I like that kind of advertising.
I mean, if you knew it was bear, that'd be sick.
And in playing more Shadow of the Erdtree, what a game. It's so good. It is definitely the hardest DLC that FromSoft has come out with.
But you can still go around and power up by getting the shards of trees.
Yeah, I should do that because I think I only have one level of those, and that's not a very significant boost. And my level isn't crazy high. I'm at about 150-ish.
Yeah, we discussed this last time, but your level doesn't really matter too much. It's just how many of those, what's it called? Skaboosh? Something?
Scatter trees. Or something like that.
I've only beaten, I'm guessing, the first boss. And,
is it a lion?
Yeah, a little lion head man.
Oh, I still haven't beaten that one.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not using a good build.
I just have my exact same build. Completely forgot how to play Elden Ring. I remember I was fighting the boss, and then I realized, oh, wait, I could use Mimic Tear. And then I remembered, oh, wait, I have a mask I can equip, Shibari's Woe, and then it's just going to focus on the Mimic Tear. And by the way, before anybody even starts to think about saying anything, Miyazaki-san himself said, oh, yeah, I use Mimic Tear. No big deal. So, Get over yourself.
Yeah. I'm doing no summons, and I'm trying to just do parry build. I don't know if Lion Beast can be parried. Doesn't seem like it.
The Divine Beast. I don't know. I liked Elden Ring. It's been hard for me to try to get back into the DLC because I just get kind of bored real quick. I know what my problem is. When I played Elden Ring, it was a bit after everybody because that was during my PS5 troubles. The troubles. And when I played Elden Ring, I always had such a purpose because by this point, all the best builds had come out. So I watched the video on, okay, you need to get these bleeding katana. And I said, that is what I'm going to get. So I just looked up what is the fastest way for me to get that sword. These are the steps I need to take. So I was very, very specific in my way of playing. I just walked straight to where I needed to go to get those swords I needed.
Yeah.
Whereas with this DLC, I haven't looked anything up yet, so I'm kind of aimless. Like, I beat that lion, and then I walk up some stairs, and it just says, well, you can't go past here. You need something. And there's a little message that says, get friend to help. And I went, okay.
Sick. Yeah, aimless exploring doesn't really work too well for me these days either, which is probably why I haven't been so engaged with it. It's not my favorite FromSoft game. Favorite would be probably Sekiro, then Bloodborne. But I do think Elden Ring is their best game.
Yeah. There are people out there that think the game is harder than it is. It doesn't need a difficulty setting because you can cheese a lot of bosses. You can just over level. There are options at your disposal. I'm not saying it's an easy game, but you can make it manageable.
Oh, it can be. I mean, it's the most malleable one. And like I'm choosing to make the game incredibly difficult for myself.
And for some reason that rubs me the wrong way. How quick people are to say that, like to defend themselves and say, "Oh, well, I would never use summons." I don't know. I don't like it.
Right now on the owl cam, the horses, because it's the owl box is on a horse farm. The horses are getting their horseshoes replaced.
Ooh.
Oh. What I was going to say is if there are people who, like, this is not the game to judge people by how they're playing. There are so many systems in it, and it was balanced for those systems.
I saw a great tweet the other day, which was somebody saying, hey, all you guys bragging about never using mimics. You sure did learn this move combination that takes off half the boss's health in one hit. And so you're acting like you're such a big deal just because you don't have any armor on. All you did was memorize how to do this one little thing.
Yeah.
It's I don't get it. It's like they're trying to sound sicker than they are, but anyway.
I think that's that's why I like Sekiro so much. Because
you just got to be good.
It's just very rigid.
That's the actual good. Taylor, would you like to discuss quesabirria tacos?
I was so hungry yesterday. So hungry.
Me too.
Just like my boy Fue Coco, I was starving. I was looking at the sky saying hungies. And we got quesabirria tacos. I was eating that, and I was just thinking that I don't think there's a better late night food for me.
It can be very, very good. I've had bad ones too, though.
Really?
Before you continue, Geese, can we hear you say birria? Por favor.
Hold on. Let me take a sip of water.
Yeah, she's charging up. She's charging up the attack. She's holding side A.
Birria.
Not beer. Beer.
What is it?
Beer.
Yeah. Birria.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like well, it sounds kind of like you're saying diarrhea.
No, she actually did it well, and I'm upset because I thought it was going to be funny. She was going to goof it, but she just did it pretty well. So, way to go, Geese.
Well, to be fair, Spanish is the one language where I have had,
formal training.
Yeah.
To be fair, served with consommé, which is a dipping sauce.
It's so good.
Man, I miss when I was living in Austin. I lived right across the street from a taco place, and I would get tacos so often. Ugh.
So, were they street tacos?
They're street. I mean, style. Yeah. It was not a cart, but it was like a small little store.
Ooh, you gotta find a taco truck.
All right, so now it's time to move on to Poké News.
Poké News of the week.
I see Taylor put in a giant block of text. I feel like I already discussed this, but if not, the Celebi in Pokemon
I put
Go.
that in.
Oh, Geese put that in.
I was so confused.
The Geese beep. The shiny Celebi, get that in Pokemon Go now, but if you already got a shiny Celebi from before, you can't get it again. I feel like I mentioned that.
I don't understand Niantic at all. Whoever's running the financial division of their company, I don't get it.
I do. I understand almost all their decisions. Some are bad, but this makes sense. We can't just be handing out shiny mythicals left and right. We should barely be handing out mythicals, let alone a shiny mythical. You should not let somebody get 2 shiny Celebis.
Okay.
It shouldn't happen.
But financially, I feel like for them it would be such a good thing.
No, it wouldn't, because then it devalues that product, and it's not something people are going to want to spend money on and go through all this work because everybody's got a bunch of them. Somebody could just trade you one.
Oh, I didn't know you could trade that.
Well,
Mythicals?
yeah, you transfer it out of the game and then you trade it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but it can't get back into the game.
No, it cannot. Shiny mythicals need to be incredibly rare, and they need to be 1 per copy of anything. I'll die on that hill.
I mean, I agree with you philosophically. It's just financially, I feel like they would want more money.
And I think long term, no, that's a bad idea. I think it would cause ill will and lose money, I think. In other Poké news of the week that I feel like I've brought up, but I see no evidence, Sarah B. Joe reports that the next 7-star Terra raid, actually, it has begun. It's June 28th through the 30th. That's right.
It has begun.
It's Dragon Terra type Sceptile. Now, June 28th through the 30th, you say to yourself, but that's already passed. Well, fear not, because it comes back July 5th through July 7th, a.k.a. Aka, the day that this podcast is not uploaded, but published.
Nice. Welcome to the 4th of July.
Welcome to the 5th of July, everybody. Also, Tynamo Community Day. Get your 3 shinies on July.
Closer, Tiny Mo.
Nice job, Geese.
July 21st, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. People in the comments are complaining and saying that's conflicts with F1 racing, I guess. So sorry about that. But you guys can catch shinies and watch F1 at the same time.
What's the crossover there? I'd love to know what that population is.
I don't know, guys, but it's time to discuss an episode of Pokemon. Taylor, what happened last time on Pokes?
The kids solve some problems by monkeying around.
Now remember, guys, feel like I have to remind you every week, let's be specific for last week and vague for this week.
The kids help some Mankeys get back to their giant fruit stash. They run into doppelgangers, never mention it again, but everybody's happy by the end of the episode.
Very sick. Now then, Geese Peep, why don't you go ahead and do me a solid and tell me the English name of this week's episode of Pokemon.
The Eternal Blessing.
Or in Japanese, Toa no Megumi. Geese Peep, what's your 1-sentence synopsis this week?
Frito visits a place of his past to learn more about the future.
Ooh, good preview, Geese.
Guys, this is a very interesting episode. I gotta say, a lot of it does not feel like an episode of Pokemon. It feels like a normal anime.
I have that note.
There's a lot of little scenes where men are just dramatically touching a window in an office building, looking out at Levincia, and I'm just thinking, why does it feel like I'm watching a real TV show? Very interesting episode. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the problem we run into, though. The second it feels like a real television show, then I have to start judging it against real television shows, because my initial reaction is, oh, this is sick. And then I think to myself, well, it's also kind of the same plot as every movie that's ever come out.
Yeah.
So, well, We'll see what score this one happens to get, but we open with civilian clothing Fritos. He's studying a bunch of old books, Geese. He's got all the Grandma Diana journals. He's got all the Lucius books. What's he looking for in there, Geese?
He's reading.
He's trying to find out the gosh darn mystery of Terrapagos. There's got to be something he's missing. And then our girl, Taylor, Oreos, pops in with 2 mugs of hot coffee.
You have no idea what I would do to be in Frito's situation there.
Scade Samadeshta, Fritos. Enjoy your hot coffee. Oh my god.
It's up there. It's up there with what was her name? Machen.
Oh, Machen and Mick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then David Lynch called her Madgekin, and then like 3 years later, Machen said, "Just so you know, my name's not Madgekin." David Lynch said, "I know your name's not Madgekin.
Love David Lynch. I would love to have her serve me coffee as well.
Yes. So then little Ella Kid comes in. He's got a bunch of berries for Captain Pikachu. That's cute.
The big problem with this episode is the fact that they set this episode up to be a big old Oreos Fritos episode where they're investigating their past because they're probably the closest, I guess.
Well, but, yeah, she built the ship. She's fixing the ship.
Yeah, but she's not in the episode.
Yeah. Guys, Oreos is only halfway done with the ship repairs. God, it's taking them forever. Captain Pikachu and Fritos are going to go on a big giant adventure. We're going to figure out the secrets of Terrapagos. Just you wait. So I normally skip the intros, but I watched the intro song, and guys, they update it with all the evolutions of the Pokemon.
Oh, that's sick.
So now you have Hatterene and Kilowattrel in there. It's so sick.
That's very sick. Maybe that's the real reason they all evolved at the same time. It wasn't because it makes sense in universe. They were like, we just don't want to do another intro.
That's smart. So then we cut, after the intro song, we cut to Kilowattrel flying around and yelling. Taylor loves seeing Kilowattrel, even if he's just yelling for a little bit. The kids and their Pokemon are walking through Paldea. Geese Dot is tired.
To be fair, it looks very hot outside.
It does.
She's wearing a sweatshirt.
You two remember when Roy ran to another city?
Yeah, he loves doing that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Geese, who's that in the distance? Is that Lico's roommate?
I think her name is Anne.
It is Anne.
Like from Arrested Development.
She's got her Dewott and her Sandshrew, and she passed her basics training too. How about that? What a coincidence. Look at us all. Just a bunch of basics test passing terrestrializers over here.
It's fun that they're running around doing stuff, like really interesting that they're saying, another student also doing their report. I don't like how Lico's like, hey, you want to hear about this big old secret mythical Pokemon I got?
Well, to be fair, Terrapagos made himself known, but she does just go to town explaining everything. And I have a note written down here. I don't remember if I ever said this before, but I do have a fear that Anne is secretly evil and she's going to steal Terrapagos.
It's a valid concern.
I mean, Lico's got a bounty on her head, you know? They are actively being hunted. Why on earth would you tell somebody about Terrapagos?
She has a lot of enemies. So Dot's too tired to keep going. So Roy, being the mensch he is, says, well, in that case, how about we just have a big giant snack time? That's right.
Just for
snack time.
It's time to relax. And go ahead and join us. And then, like you said, she gets to learn everything. The deepest, darkest secrets of the universe. Here you go, Anne.
Like, even like, let's assume, for some reason, that Anne is not evil.
Fat chance.
Yeah, I know. If she gets kidnapped by the explorers,
they're gonna torture her down.
Yeah, she has so much information to give now.
They've been talking about Rakua, the ancient mythical land of Rakua.
Just ridiculous.
And then Anne says, wow, Lico, you sure have changed a lot. High fives all around. Handshakes for days. Everybody's friends now.
When she said "you've changed a lot," it just made me think of Parasite, the anime, because the love interest of the main character, at least 20 times in the episode, goes, "Shinichi, is that really the same Shinichi?" And it's such a ridiculous line, and I made fun of it every single time she said it.
Taylor's Anime Minute of the Week.
Yeah.
Geese, did you see what little Tinky-Tink was up to causing trouble with Do-What?
She was chasing after his little shell.
Scal Chop.
So cute.
I thought the scene where Anne was like, I'm Liko friend, so I'm going to be friends with you, Dot, and you, Roy. I thought that was sweet. That's cute. And like
it is.
A realistic child at their age something like that would happen.
I agree.
And for me, I think, she's trying to get in deep to get information on all of them because she's asleep herself.
Poor Dot is sitting there saying, I don't need to talk to more people.
Yeah, poor Dot.
I just became friends with my uncle.
I love Dot, Geese, because this isn't Taylor. Taylor loves meeting new people and making a million friends. If there's a new person introduced to the mix out of nowhere, I'm not pleased about it.
Yeah.
I'm Dot in the situation. That's very funny. Okay, Fritos calls Liko. Important question I have to ask you, Liko. Do you remember Pink Shades of Light when all of those Lucius, Hallucination, Terapagos, 6 Heroes of Light magic events happened? And Liko says, yeah, I think it was some pink light.
Also, Fritos, you're on speakerphone.
Yeah, everybody can. Yeah, and my friend over here, she can hear you. I was laughing because we've watched 60-something episodes of this, or 54. The little piano trills they use for Liko thinking, it's just funny to me now. It's not, I can't take it seriously because I go, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
But immediately, in the middle of the piano trill, Geese, a Scalchop comes flying towards Liko. But luckily, Terapagos catches it in his mouth.
Good reflexes.
Yeah, I mean, for a legendary Pokemon, he should be able to catch a Scalchop in his mouth.
But it's normally such a aloof Pokemon.
I think Liko is too concerned about Terapagos most of the time. I think the boy can take care of himself.
Yeah.
Even if he needs to transform, which Amaranth the Methio later, spoilers, may bring up.
Oh, spoilers.
So then we cut to Fritos at a building in Levincia City. It's a big, giant, huge building. It's not in the games. This is anime exclusive. It's a business called Exceed. This appears to be some sort of Pokemon research facility for professors. If you'll notice in the background, we see an Audino, a male Indeedee, and a Herdier. Now, Geese Peep, what happens next?
Frito goes in and meets with a businessman, and he deeply apologizes to him.
A deep bow to the mystery man, Director Crave.
What a name.
Also, there's a cute Chinchino cleaning everything in the big giant office. It's a nice office, guys. So it appears, guys, that Frito used to work here, and it was actually because of this man, Director Crave, that he had a job because he loved his thesis. Is that right, Geese?
Yes. The obvious passion and love for Pokemon that came through in his thesis.
They have a long talk about Frito's life and how he's happy now, having his adventures on his flying airship. Because Frito's is apologizing, I'm so sorry I quit. But then Director Crave goes, ha 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 ha. I knew that life wasn't for you. You belong out there on the sky. Geese Peep, Chinchino notices Cap's hat, and what does he do?
It's dirty, and the Chinchillo likes clean things, so he cleans the hat.
So cute.
Chinchino cleans the hat, and honestly, he did a great job.
The hat is shiny and sparkly, and Captain Pikachu seems very pleased with the work.
And then the conversation takes a serious turn as Fritos says, after being asked, what are you really here for, Fritos? Fritos says, I need to ask you about Towa no Megumi. Or in English, Geese?
The eternal blessing.
What
That's
could this
right,
be?
Fritos is joining a cult.
Nah. I don't know what this little pink crystal is. Does it have something to do with terrestrial crystals?
They say that it's the eternal blessing, or also called requiem.
Yeah, Requiem.
So what I thought it was is a fragment of, this is very pertinent for today, the day that we're recording the event going on in Pokemon Go, a meteorite fragment.
Oh, yeah. Could have to do with Mega Rayquaza. Or, not Mega, Shiny Rayquaza. Or, in my wildest dreams, it could be about Pokemon ZA, the new game coming out.
Ooh.
And so now we finally get the scene I was talking about earlier. The very dramatic walk over to the window of the office from Director Crave as he looks out on the city, almost like a real anime. Sounds like this information about the eternal blessing may be some classified information. I don't know. Sorry I can't help you with all this, Fritos, but Geese Beep. Director Crave gives Fritos something that may help him. What is it?
His old company ID card.
Ooh, that'll scan still. That'll get him into the secret hidden underground basement lab areas.
When they go into the talking about the abandoned wing of the building, I just remember the building looking like it's about 3 stories tall. Not nearly big enough to have a forgotten, completely abandoned.
What are you talking about? Because
Was
they
it bigger
showed
than
the
that?
building, and it's huge. It's one of the biggest buildings in Levincia.
Okay. Well, it looks about the right size to have an abandoned research wing, is what I was thinking.
It's not abandoned.
Looks pretty abandoned, Geese.
We'll get there, but it is very dusty and abandoned. Oh, Fritos, by the way, while you're over here, why don't you go ahead and check out your old laboratory, your old office you used to work in. We cut to the old office. I'll be honest, very sick. You got all these little researchers, all these little scientists running experiments, Geese.
Bunch of nerds.
Test tubes.
Benson burners.
Benson burners. It's very sick, and I still feel like it feels like a very different show right now. Oh, hey, it's a cute little Joltik. Oh, hey, Geese, he jumps on Captain Pikachu and starts eating his electricity. Oh, my God.
Nom, 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 nom.
And then, whomst appears to be the trainer of this Joltik appears. Did they give him a name, Geese?
Mm-mm.
Just the guy who worked. This boy asks Fritos, where have you been? Are you finally coming back?
I like this character because it seems like a very cartoonish yet kind of realistic depiction of a lab person who just seems very sweaty and very into their work.
The voice acting is actually very good by the lab technician who worked under Fritos.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, senpai.
It matches the animation incredibly well.
And then, Geese, we get something that none of us like because it's a very dumb plot point, but he calls Captain Pikachu cute. So what happened?
Starts
I don't
sneezing.
remember this part.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that.
She blocks
PTSD
out
is different for everyone.
because there's a plot point in this show that Captain Pikachu is allergic to being called cute, so he sneezes, and it's dumb.
When was that established?
It was episodes ago. They had a whole episode about it. Maybe on the origin episode of Cap.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was a long time ago for them to be revisiting it.
All right, guys. All right. We get it. He's allergic to being called. Then we cut to the little break room, and oh, sick. Fritos get some Poke Juice out of the vending machine for him and his boy. So,
Think it's from Shuckle?
Nah, it's probably a soda or coffee, maybe. That'd be sick. Fritos asks lab technician boy that does not get a name to look up something for him on his little laptop. All about the eternal blessing, the pink crystal. There's so many questions. But Geese. This is one of those things where I went, oh, yeah, just like every single movie ever made, every late 90s, early 2000s thriller. What happens when they try to look up information on the database about the eternal blessing?
Get locked out and they can't get in.
God. Well, Fritos, we know it's in the underground, spooky, dusty, abandoned vault. So why don't you go underground and find it? So,
Like I'm watching The First Omen all over again.
It's like he's watching The First Omen. So Fritos says, all right, I'm going to go it alone. I'm guessing that Fritos does not want to get his little friend in trouble, so he's not going to let him join him on this illegal adventure here. But Geese Peep, during this discussion, there seems to be a mysterious figure in a lab coat eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping.
It's such a funny cut before the commercial break because I thought it was going to reveal anything, and it's just shoes and part of a pair of pants.
I'd recognize those shoes anywhere, Taylor. Well, the funny thing is, I did recognize that. Yep, that's a member of the Explorers right there.
Oh,
even though
100%.
Well, yeah, it has to be, but it's just weird because it just seemed like somebody standing in a hallway.
Yeah, it was. And spoilers, we'll find out soon enough who it is. So we get the commercial break. Come back from the commercial break. Captain Pikachu and Fritos are underground, and it's all dark, Geese. So what does Pikachu do?
Uses his little cheeks and generates some electricity so that there's light.
Shines some light on the situation, brightens up the dark hallway.
Very sick.
Fritos then uses his key card to enter spooky unauthorized zone. But oh my god, there's a Bisharp, a Watchog, and an Orbeetle just standing behind the door.
This really confused me.
They're all looking so spooky and immediately attack.
They're just standing in the dark.
To be fair, at least two of those guys can see in the dark. So maybe poor Bisharp can't see anything, but I think the other two are fine.
I just hope they're being taken care of.
What are they guarding? Is the question I asked to myself. Captain Pikachu immediately takes all of them on because they attack. Double team, Thunder Punch, and then Fritos and Cap run past them as they're all kind of dazed. Then Captain Pikachu sees a security camera, CCTV. Fritos starts to yell, no, don't! But by that point, it's too late. Cap already destroys it, sets off an alarm. Oh, man. Fritos says, ooh, sorry about that, Director Crave. Didn't mean to cause all this trouble.
Just want some files.
So they go in deeper now into the dusty old lab, and we see what appears to be, Geese, some sort of empty vessel for the eternal blessing. And it says, Requiem? What? What is going on? So then Fritos walks back into the alarm hallway, and it's now full of guards. He shows his ID, Geese, but it's no use. Go Charizard! And when he first pulled out Charizard, I thought the Charizard was going to kill these men. But thankfully, no, he just jumps on Charizard to escape. We proceed to see one of the sickest looking things I've ever seen in this show. Cap, use Volt Tackle to make us a path, and I'm gonna sick Charizard bullet fly from a standstill down this hallway. Oh my god, it was so cool.
They should have used kind of One Piece animation for this, because that would have been so sick. They do like momentum really well in that show.
I thought it was such a cool scene, Geese, but the only issue I had watching it is I was just sad that it's 2024 and we're still just trying to appeal to the very first Pokemon people by, oh look, it's Pikachu and Charizard. And I went, god.
It
just hit. Yeah, well.
That's very true. Huh.
It annoyed me a little bit, but the annoyance didn't last long because then Fritos does another sick, frame-perfect jump off of Charizard into Pokeball return keycard scan, and they escape. And golly, what a fun scene to watch.
I mean, it's very sick.
Taylor, we see a mystery lab coat man again, and it is revealed, Geese, to be Spinal. That's right, the man who sat in that van one time. Oh my god.
And who tried to kidnap Sprigatito, right?
What? A lot of people have kidnapped Sprigatito. I think Amaranth has kidnapped Sprigatito.
On the ship, and there was Arboliva, remember?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember. He's on the ship, in the van. And Spinal delivers a little smirk. And he puts his hand in his pocket.
Just such a weird amount of involvement for a member of the Explorers.
And I bet there's some Requiem in that pocket. So then we cut to Lavincia Alley at dusk, everybody's favorite time of day. Fritos is trying to catch his breath. He finally escaped. He starts to think through everything that happened, try to put these puzzle pieces together, Geese. And all the while, Behem is above them. Him and Captain Pikachu. Behem is above them, surveilling. Wait, is Behem Spinal's Pokemon or Amaranth's Pokemon?
Spinals, I think.
Really? I was going to say Amaranth.
I think it's Amaranth because Amaranth is watching.
But Amaranth is watching Spinal.
But who abducted Liko? That's the question. Well, it was Amaranth, right?
Yeah. Please leave in the comments or email gmail.com at listencast@gmail.com. Which one's Behem? Is he Amethio or is he Spinal?
From the plot, it wouldn't make much sense for it to be Spinal. Because they wouldn't do like and who's looking at them? Because we already know he's following them around.
That probably checks out. The Behem's gathering data. Ooh, very spooky. And then we cut back to the kids. It's kind of an interesting episode. It's a Fritos episode, but we're just getting little sprinkles of the children.
They get the sunset scene. That's what weirded me out.
Yeah, well, they both got a sunset. It's dusk. It's dusk in Lavincia. We cut to the kids marching on down to Naranja Academy. Geese Peep, looks like they all had fun today.
And they talk about how their Pokemon companions give them confidence to go on adventures, and how that they'll always feel confident going places when they have their Pokemon by their side.
Exactly.
Geese, you can't talk about confidence while you're looking around playing with your fingers like that. Like, they're all real confident.
For audio listeners, she looked like Sadness from Inside Out 1. But, yeah, they have their heart-to-heart, and then Terapagos jumps out. Guys, they made it to Naranja Academy, and they do the thing that means it's the end of the episode, and they do a little freeze-frame painting. There's the school, and you think to yourself, where's the to be continued sign? Little thing on the bottom
show's over. It came full circle. We're back. Anne's in the background, just waiting to ask more questions about Terapagos.
So why am I not watching the credits yet? Oh my God, guys, the episode's not over. What? We cut to Amaranth and Butler Hamburgers and Cerulege. And guys, we finally arrived. It's time after almost 60 episodes. Time to reveal Master Gibeon. That's right, it's Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! He's on his throne of lies.
And the biggest, most nefarious force in the show presents itself. That's right, nepotism.
The evil leader of the Explorers with his shiny 10% Zygarde. It's true, Taylor. He's the grandfather of Amaranth this whole time. But he's trying to prove himself to his grandfather, and he says he's nothing like his father. Who's his father?
Who's his dad?
The big mystery of the day. Is his dad Fritos? Is his dad Lucius? Is Lucius a time traveler that had Amaranth as a kid and then went back in time to become the six heroes of light? And so now the Explorers are trying to fight against Lucius in the past. What's going on?
Frito does have the gray hair.
Ooh. Then we see Cerulege and Amaranth walk dramatically away.
So funny when people ask, I get the scene is supposed to be, sick and cool and talk about their bond, but Amaranth going, hey, Soul Blades, will you join me? Just the idea of Cerulege just saying no and then walking away.
Nah, that sounds rough for me.
Yeah, this is too much, buddy.
Soul Blades.
Frito then gets a FaceTime from his goons.
Frito?
Oh my god. Amaranth gets a FaceTime from his goons saying that Spinal is on the move and is up to something.
Yeah, and then Amaranth tells the grunts, don't chase after him too far. I guess, for some reason. I guess that he's gonna do it himself. Is that what you gathered, Geese?
I don't know. Don't know. I was confused by that.
Well, we get another dramatic walk away to be continued. Taylor, yes?
I was assuming that Amaranth has his own plan, and he doesn't want to deviate too far from his plan.
His own plan. Well, that is the the entire Explorer's MO. Every single one of them is, don't get too close. We'll watch from a distance. But
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, that's the end of the episode. Before we discuss it, Geese Peep, please take it away with Professor Frito's Seminar of the Week.
I love the dichotomy between that last scene and then the immediate cut to the Pokemon seminar.
I love it.
Today's Pokemon seminar is on the silencing Pokemon, Hatchram.
Who was in the episode.
This is technically true.
Tree. She's
This is technically Tree.
Sorry.
No, it's very funny.
I'm tired. Hatchram picks up strong emotions as loud noises. So what does she do to reclaim the silence? Is it A, she covers her ears, B, she gets violent, or C, she runs away?
B, she gets violent.
Yes. When she finds someone holding strong emotions, she uses her pigtails to dish out powerful punches, knocking them unconscious to silence them.
Wow.
And we get an interesting animation where there's a bunch of, not mouse holds. What's the one before?
It is a mouse hold. A mouse hold is all of them.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's mouse holds that are excited about a berry and something else.
I don't even know if we should pluralize it. It is one mouse hold. The 4 mice that comprise a mouse hold.
Yeah, the mouse hold is excited and has some strong emotions. So Hatchram starts having a tantrum, and Captain Pikachu just grabs her and just walks off with her.
Yeah, well, the mouse hold, they're arguing amongst themselves. They're fighting over a berry. Hatchram wants nothing to do with it. This episode, I know last week I was big on, I don't know. I'm going to be very clear, and because this episode was so unique, so many twists, so many turns, so many reveals, right off the bat, it has to get a 9.0. Could have used more cute stuff, to be honest, but it's too important of an episode to get under 9.0. You had drinks. You had incredible voice acting from, what's the word I'm looking for? It sounds like ancillary characters. You had vending machines. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Such a cool vibe. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Oreos bringing in the coffee? You joking me?
She popped on the screen, and I was giving it a 9 minimum.
It's a 9. It's too interesting and unique of an episode not to give a 9. I'm looking forward to what we're going to learn about Requiem.
I want to know who's Amaranth's dad.
Yes, more mystery. That's a good thing they did. They revealed Gibeon, but gave us more questions. So that's how you get people to keep watching. In the old script writing lingo, you call it a forwards. It makes you want to keep watching because what you do is you introduce a question that makes the audience member go, oh, I wonder what that's about. And then that's why you keep watching to find the answer. So 9.0, good episode. Geese, how'd you feel?
I'm gonna give it a 9.3.
What?
Holy moly from Geese!
I really liked it. The pacing was good. I liked how they handled the balance of the kids versus Frito. The story was interesting. I was actually captivated and I wanted to know what was going on. They also, in this episode, did a really good job of showing, not telling. They didn't have Frito explain everything. They kind of let the scenes develop themselves, which I really appreciated. The animation was really good. You can tell they spent a lot of time and money on this episode. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
They brought in the A team, or perhaps even the S team, the triple S ranked team. to work on. Probably brought in people that don't just work on Pokemon.
Yes. Yeah.
Like when they're getting this episode, rather they were actually looking at resumes, and they're like, "Oh, you worked on actual properties. That's
This
cool."
is what we've been saving our money for.
Yeah. Taylor, what's your score of the week? How'd you feel about the episode?
It was so judging this, as you were mentioning, I was doing the exact same thing in my head, where as soon as something becomes me not loving it because of its flaws, but criticizing it because of how good it is, I'm going to be judging it against Pokemon stuff. I really liked it. It was a big old plot heavy episode. The only things that I would change are 1, more Oreos, 2, less spinal, or more spinal, just not that amount of spinal, and 3, I wish it had been more sneaky than flashy with entering the lab and everything. Like, I wish Cap was like crawling through some oversized air vents and stuff
Way
like that.
to go, Captain Pikachu. It could have been a stealth mission.
Just because that doesn't happen very often. Like, there's not enough sneaking.
Yeah.
But I will give it a 9.2. Loved the episode.
9.0,
Very-
9.2, 9.3?
Very good episode.
Sounds like we love the episode, and I hope you love it too. I wonder if next week's going to be as good. Probably not. We'll see.
Oh, I forgot to say, I was cracking up when grandpapa was talking about getting more Requiem.
Yeah,
And I was just thinking, the leader of the Explorers is just like me, just hoarding his X potions for the last battle. I'm so happy.
His pockets are full of Requiem. They got so much Requiem that I don't know what to do with it. If you're asking yourself, what's Requiem? That's a fantastic question. That's a question for the ages.
Has to be.
Geese Peep, it's time for us to move on to the wrap-up because we gotta get done with this puppy, and then I gotta start editing it, and we're so busy and got a million things to do.
Big ol' elite raids today.
Oh, yeah, Taylor's got to go catch some Rayquazas.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find us at Look, Listen, Cast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Like and comment so more people see it. Thank you. And thank you for Keith for our artwork. You can find Keith at Keith.
Not the first time. This is not the second time. This is probably even the third time she's done that. She says thank you for Keith. So she's thanking some deity in the distance for creating Keith. And then she says Keith.tv. Taylor, just take away the rest. Taylor, you got it.
No, I got it.
Taylor.
Twitch.tv/Keith Squared.
Taylor, read the rest of the wrap-up. Keith.ticklebits.boilerplate.org.
Thank you for Professor Boilerplate.
You can follow him on boilerplates.keith.twitch.ticklebits. And thank you to our supporters. You can support us. Thank you so much. You can click a link on the podcast feeds, the audio ones, or go to looklistencast.com. You'll see it. Also, please send a question to looklistencast@gmail.com. This week is from RDFine with the subject title, Fun Day. Taylor, say you have a free day, some cash burning a hole in your pocket, and a few good friends who also have free time. It's good addition there. Everybody's free time. Nobody's worrying about, I got to go. What kind of good time would you all get up to? Next paragraph. Lots of my best spontaneous hangouts have started with a few friends doing arcade paintball hiking type activities and then ended with late night cookouts around a fire. Already fine. Taylor, I'm sure you have an answer to this one.
It depends on where I am, but I will say my best last second get together a random group of people and go do something.
Protecting everybody from wolves.
I guess that was random. I don't know.
Activity.
I'm not a planner, so pretty much every day kind of unfolds on its own. But one of my most most favorite group random, like last second, let's get together, everybody's free, was going shore diving in Laguna. So by Laguna Beach in Orange County. I just had a few people who were all off work, and we just drove down, had all of our wetsuits, and we rented tanks, and we went diving in a reef. And the reefs are really cool there because, like, one, the water's gorgeous, but the reef systems are so close to the shore that what you have to do is brace yourself on the side of the reef, wait for the tide to go against you, and then when it's starting to go with you, you tuck yourself into like a little torpedo and you just get shot through these reef systems. It's really cool.
So sick.
So impromptu diving is going to be my answer.
Nice. Geese Peep, what about you?
Honestly, guys, I'm a big planner, so not a lot of spontaneous things. But one time that was spontaneous was in high school. I was hanging with some of my friends, and we were on our phones, and we discovered that Bo Burnham was going to have a show that night, and there were still tickets. And so we went to the local college and saw Bo Burnham, and it was very good.
So seeing a show.
Mine would probably all be food related. I mean, maybe there's some times we went to Disneyland without planning it. I don't know, but yeah, always gonna be food related.
We spontaneously decided to meet in the middle in Japan.
That is spontaneous.
Ooh. And what you would do with some free time during your day.
Didn't need the extra money because, of course, JR Pass. You could take a bullet train anywhere, so that was sick.
Shout out to JR Pass. Follow him at twitch.tv/JR Pass.
Well, the thing is, every single time I think about, next time I go to Japan, I'm not going to get a JR Pass, I then think to myself, what, am I out of my mind?
Yeah.
What, do I not want to take a spontaneous trip to a city I've never been to get a good deal on book off used video games, to not see a new place? No tourists around? Come on.
I'm glad you came to your senses on that.
I got to get a JR Pass every time.
Yeah,
what are we talking about? Come on.
Oh, an additional question. If anybody, I'm going to Amsterdam this summer before Turkey, and I need somebody to give me some hot tips for Amsterdam.
What kind of hot tips do you want?
Things to do?
I highly recommend going to the Rijksmuseum. Do you like museums?
In small doses.
Oh.
Well, that's a huge museum, but they have a lot of really famous paintings by the Dutch masters, of course.
Oh. God bless the Dutch.
Whoa. Honestly, a lot of people rent bikes. I was too scared to, because can be a dangerous endeavor because everyone's on bikes.
I mean, biking is really fun, but I don't know how my knees are going to be doing. And then the big thing is I love taking public transportation. I love seeing what, like, kind of chunk of civilization you get to see.
Yeah, I love getting my little new cards for whatever the local transit is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Amsterdam, if you're just going to stay in the city, you probably won't use public transportation. They might have like a trolley system or like bus, but
I love a good trolley.
He loves a good trolley. Remember, we used to, I think, spontaneously go to Katz's quite a bit. That was always a good
God.
time.
High school and college was peak spontaneity. You remember how many times I would just skip class for a week and drive to your college in the middle of the night through the woods?
The woods. Yeah. Delicious Katz's. It used to be delicious. Not anymore.
R.I.P. That's a big fall from grace.
Those Philly cheesesteaks used to be good. Guys, I think it's probably time we gotta go goodbye.
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 Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you again next week. Geese is gonna say goodbye 3 times. And by see you again next week, I mean, you may get a podcast next week. You may get a vlog. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye.
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 Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Peep. Thank you for listening to the Geese Peep Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company